Ladies and gentlemen, gather around, for I have a bone-chilling Airbnb horror story that will make your hair stand on end. It was a dark and stormy night, and I, along with my friends, had planned a weekend getaway. Excitement filled the air as we arrived at our chosen Airbnb. The place was an old Victorian mansion, perched on the outskirts of town. It seemed like the perfect spot for a spooky adventure. The host, a peculiar elderly man, greeted us with a sinister smile. He warned us not to venture into certain rooms of the house, claiming they were under renovation. But the allure of mystery was too tempting, and we couldn't resist exploring every nook and cranny of the mansion. As the night deepened, so did the strange occurrences. Doors creaked open on their own, and faint whispers echoed through the hallways. We laughed off our fears, attributing them to overactive imaginations fueled by the eerie setting. However, the moment we settled into our rooms, things took a horrifying turn. My friends and I were scattered across different parts of the mansion. Alone in my room, I heard a peculiar scratching sound emanating from the closet. My heart raced as I mustered the courage to investigate. When I opened the closet door, my blood ran cold. Inside, I found old photographs of unfamiliar faces, all with hauntingly blank expressions. But that wasn't the worst part. The scratching sound had been coming from the wall behind the photographs, as if something was trying to claw its way out. Terrified, I rushed to find my friends and share my discovery. But as I reached their rooms, they were nowhere to be found. Panic set in, and I searched frantically, calling out their names, but all I heard in return were the eerie echoes of my own voice. In a desperate attempt to escape the nightmare, I decided to leave the mansion. But every door I approached led to a different part of the house, as if the layout was constantly changing. It was as if the mansion itself was playing a malevolent game with us, trapping us within its haunted walls. The longer we stayed, the more sinister the mansion became. Apparitions appeared in the mirrors, and chilling laughter echoed through the halls. The feeling of being watched was constant, and an unshakable sense of dread hung heavy in the air. As the night dragged on, my fear turned into sheer terror. I felt a malevolent presence closing in, as if the mansion's dark secrets were revealing themselves to us. I knew we had to escape, but the mansion seemed to have a sinister grip on us, trapping us like insects in its spider web. Finally, with the first rays of dawn, the mansion released its hold on us. The door we had originally entered through was now open, as if beckoning us to leave. We ran, not looking back, vowing never to return to that accursed place. To this day, I don't know what truly transpired in that haunted Airbnb, but the memory of that night haunts my dreams. So, my dear viewers, be cautious when you book your next Airbnb adventure. You never know what malevolent forces may lurk within the shadows of these seemingly innocent getaways. Gather round for another spine-chilling Airbnb horror story that will make you think twice before booking your next vacation. It was a crisp autumn evening when my friends and I decided to have a weekend getaway in a secluded cabin we found on Airbnb. The cabin was nestled deep in the heart of a dense forest, surrounded by towering trees adorned with fiery-colored leaves. It seemed like the perfect escape from the hustle and bustle of everyday life. As we arrived, we were greeted by the host, a mysterious and enigmatic woman named Alara. She had an unsettling aura about her, but we dismissed it as part of her charm. She handed us the keys to the cabin, warning us to avoid the nearby dilapidated building, claiming it was structurally unsafe. Undeterred by the warning, we ventured inside the cabin. The rustic interior exuded a quaint charm, and we settled in, looking forward to a weekend filled with laughter and relaxation. As night fell, we gathered around a crackling fireplace, sharing stories and enjoying each other's company. But as the clock struck midnight, strange things began to happen. We heard faint whispers from the corners of the room, and the temperature dropped drastically, chilling us to the bone. Unnerved, we tried to laugh off the eerie occurrences, blaming them on the old cabin's creaks and groans. However, as the night wore on, the supernatural events intensified. Objects seemed to move on their own, and shadows danced along the walls, taking shapes that seemed almost human. The final straw came when we heard a mournful cry coming from the woods outside. Against our better judgment, we decided to investigate. Armed with flashlights, we ventured into the dark forest, our hearts pounding in our chests. As we followed the sound deeper into the woods, we stumbled upon the dilapidated building Alara had warned us about. But the cry seemed to be coming from inside the decrepit structure. Curiosity got the better of us, and we entered cautiously. The moment we stepped inside, a sense of malevolence engulfed us. The air was heavy with an unsettling presence, and the cries grew louder and more agonizing. We discovered an old, tattered journal, its pages filled with horrifying accounts of a family's tragic fate within these very walls. With growing dread, we realized that Alara had not been entirely truthful about the building's condition. The spirits of a tormented family were trapped within, and they sought vengeance for the injustices done to them. As we tried to escape, the door slammed shut behind us, trapping us inside with the vengeful spirits. Panic set in, and we desperately searched for a way out. The cries became more desperate, and the shadows around us seemed to come alive, reaching out like skeletal fingers. Summoning every ounce of courage, we managed to break a window and crawl to safety just as the spirits' cries reached an ear-piercing crescendo. We fled back to the cabin, praying that the evil presence would not follow us. As the first light of dawn broke, we left the cabin behind, vowing never to speak of the night's horrors again. But the memory of that Airbnb getaway still haunts us, a chilling reminder that not all vacation rentals offer the peaceful retreat we seek. So, my dear viewers, be cautious when seeking an escape in the heart of nature, for the forests hold secrets that may not want to let you go. My braver viewers gather around for a chilling tale of an Airbnb getaway that turned into a nightmare. One misty autumn evening, a group of friends decided to escape their busy lives and booked a charming cabin on Airbnb. The cabin was nestled deep in the woods, surrounded by vibrant foliage and the promise of a peaceful retreat. Upon arrival, they were greeted by the host, a peculiar woman named Alara. She had an air of mystery about her, but they brushed it off as part of the rustic charm of the place. Alara handed them the keys with a warning to steer clear of an old, run-down building nearby, claiming it was unsafe. Excited, the friends settled into the cozy cabin, eager for a weekend of relaxation and laughter. As night fell, they gathered around the crackling fireplace, sharing stories and enjoying each other's company. But as the clock struck midnight, strange things began to happen. Faint whispers seemed to fill the air, and an unexplained chill set in, sending shivers down their spines. Initially, they laughed off the eerie occurrences, attributing them to the quirks of an old cabin. As the night wore on, the supernatural events intensified. Objects appeared to move on their own, and shadows danced along the walls, taking on eerie shapes. Their nervous laughter turned to unease, and they couldn't deny the presence of something inexplicable in the cabin. Then, a mournful cry pierced the night from the woods outside. Curiosity got the better of them, and armed with flashlights, they ventured into the dark forest to investigate. Their search led them to the same dilapidated building Alara had warned them about. But the cry seemed to be coming from within. Hesitant but determined, they cautiously entered. Inside, the atmosphere was heavy with an unsettling energy. As they discovered an old journal, their fear intensified. Its pages revealed haunting accounts of a family's tragic fate within those very walls. They realized Alara had not been entirely truthful about the building's condition. The spirits of a tormented family were trapped within, seeking vengeance for past wrongs. Suddenly, the door slammed shut behind them, leaving them trapped with the vengeful spirits. Panic took hold, and they desperately searched for a way out. The cries grew more desperate, and the shadows seemed to reach out, as if trying to ensnare them. Summoning all their courage, they managed to break a window and crawl to safety just in time. They ran back to the cabin, hoping the malevolent presence wouldn't follow. As the first light of dawn broke, they left the cabin behind, vowing never to speak of the night's horrors again. But the memory of that Airbnb getaway still haunts them, a chilling reminder that